Hi, everyone. Today we're going to continue our series on managing depression and talking about something that affects us all: sleep and its relationship with depression. Now, sleep is something we often take for granted when we're getting enough of it, but it becomes a big deal when we're not getting the rest we need. So, I want to talk about sleep and depression and how they're interconnected, and we're going to explore some of the practical ways that you can improve your sleep. Now, when it comes to depression and sleep, uh, it can show up in different ways for different people. Some of us struggle to fall asleep, lying awake for seeming ages, staring at the ceiling. For others, they wake up multiple times during the night, leaving them feeling groggy and far from refreshed in the morning. And then there's those folks who wake up way too early and just can't get back to sleep, feeling like their day is starting at like 3 or 4 in the morning. Now, the good thing is that there are things that we can do. There's practical things that we can do to improve our sleep and to ease those frustrating sleep problems. But there's no magic solution that guarantees a perfect sleep for everyone. Sleep is a complex process, and what works for one person may not work for another. So, what we're going to be doing is to think of building a sleep toolbox. We're going to talk about some habits and tips that you can do to give yourself a better chance of staying and falling asleep through the night. It's kind of like putting together your own personalized toolkit to create your ideal sleep environment. And while there's no guarantees that these types of tips are going to absolutely make you fall and stay asleep, what these tips can do is increase your odds of getting a better night's sleep. So, the key first step is to start by understanding why having a regular sleep schedule is so important. You see, our bodies love routine, and they work on a 24-hour cycle. And when we mess up our sleep schedule too much, it can confuse our internal body clock, leading to sleep problems. So, one of the things you need to do is to help your body recognize when it's the best time to sleep. And one of the best things you can do for this is to stick to a regular sleep schedule. So, try going to bed around the same time every night, even on weekends. And I know the temptation to stay up late and sleep in on your days off, that temptation is real, but it can throw off your body balance during the rest of your week. Now, if you're having trouble falling asleep, don't force yourself to go to bed too early or earlier than usual, because it won't work. Instead, try gradually moving up your bedtime in small increments. Start by going to bed 30 minutes earlier. And once you're comfortable with that, try moving it another 30 minutes earlier until you find a bedtime that allows you to get the amount of sleep that you want. It's not just about bedtime, though. Having a regular wake-up time is equally important. And I know it may sound counterintuitive, but waking up at the same time every day helps reinforce your body's internal clock. Sure, you may be tempted to want to catch up on sleep after having a bad night's sleep the night before, but constantly changing your wake-up time can confuse your body and mess up your sleep pattern. So the idea is to try to set a regular wake-up time, even on weekends, again, and stick to it. And this brings us to napping. Now, naps can be really tempting, especially when you're feeling tired during the day. But the problem is, napping can mess with your sleep-wake cycle. If you take a nap in the afternoon, your body is getting the signal that that's a time to sleep, when that's a time when you should actually be awake. That's not good for your sleep quality at night. So try to resist the temptation to nap during the day. If you're feeling drowsy or tired, try doing some light physical activity to stay awake. Try taking a short walk. By avoiding napping, it helps you to maintain a consistency to your sleep schedule. Another thing that's important to do is to establish a bedtime routine. Just like having, uh, just like you have a morning routine to get ready for your day, having a bedtime routine helps signal to your body that it's time to wind down and to prepare for sleep. What you want to do is to avoid stimulating activities like doom scrolling through your phone or watching exciting videos before bed. Instead, you want to try to create a relaxing pre-sleep routine about an hour before you want to go to sleep. Consider reading a book, doing some deep breathing or meditation. These types of activities can help your body naturally wind down and prepare for sleep. It's almost like you're cueing your body that I'm about to go to bed. Sometimes what people will do is use alcohol to help them fall asleep. And this might seem like a good idea to have a drink or two to help you relax and fall asleep. But the problem is alcohol can disrupt your sleep cycle. Now, alcohol may be effective in helping you fall asleep initially, but as your body metabolizes the alcohol, it can lead to disruptions in your sleep, causing you to wake up in the middle of the night and feeling awake and having difficulty falling back asleep. So be mindful of your alcohol consumption, especially close to bedtime. That brings us to coffee. Now, this should be an obvious one. You want to limit your coffee intake, especially later in the day. Coffee contains caffeine, which is a stimulant, and that stimulant is aimed at keeping you awake and alert. That's why people drink it. And so to avoid disrupting your sleep, you want to set a cutoff time for when you're going to drink coffee. Ideally, not after noon or 12 o'clock. And if you're sensitive to caffeine, you may need to even stop drinking coffee even a bit earlier in the day. Caffeine takes a little bit of time to leave your system, so be cautious about when you're drinking coffee as a way of trying to ensure a better night's sleep. Now, regular exercise is a fantastic tool that you can use for sleep quality, but the timing of when you exercise matters, and that's important too. Exercising too close to bedtime, what that can do is it can stimulate your body and mind, making it harder for you to wind down for sleep. So instead, what you want to do is to aim to schedule workouts earlier in the day, preferably in the morning or the early afternoon, because this gives your body enough time to relax and recover before bedtime, and that will set the stage for a potentially better night's sleep. Now, your bedroom environment plays a huge role in how well you sleep. Nowadays, many of us have lots of electronics in the bedroom, and a lot of those electronics have those notification lights or power lights that can emit disruptive light in your room. So to create a sleep-friendly environment, what you want to do is to turn off all unnecessary lights, and you might want to consider covering those notification lights with some tape so that they don't shine all night. And so the key is you want to try to create as dark a sleep environment as possible. Now, for a lot of us, it's tempting to use our bedrooms for various activities like exercise or working, especially if you're working from home. But using your bedroom for everything other than sleep can confuse your body. So what you want to do is to try to limit non-sleeping activities in the bedroom and use your bedroom exclusively for sleep. And what this does is it helps your brain associate the bedroom with relaxation and rest, setting the stage for a better chance for sleep. Now, obviously, this depends on your living situation and how much space you have, but to the extent that it's possible, try to keep your bedroom focused as a place of sleep, not other things. You also want to avoid associating your bed with frustration or anger. If you find yourself tossing and turning in bed and unable to sleep, spending too much time in bed where you're not sleeping can lead to these negative emotions. So if you can't fall asleep within 10 to 20 minutes, get out of bed and engage in some sort of calming activity in another room until you feel sleepy. Try doing some deep breathing, try to read a book, try to do something that's non-stimulating, just until you start to feel sleepy again, then go back to bed, because your bed should be a place of relaxation, not a place where you feel frustrated because you can't fall asleep. Now, related to this, checking the time when you wake up in the middle of the night can add unnecessary stress and anxiety about how much sleep you're getting. So what you might want to do is try turning around your alarm clock, or put your phone away from you so that you can't see the time during the night. You set an alarm for the morning, but there's no need to know what time it is during the early hours of the morning. Trust that your alarm will go off to wake you up. You don't need to be checking the time, because reducing the focus on the time it is, can help you relax and fall back asleep. And finally, you want to try to stop working really hard to fall asleep. The more stress you put on yourself about falling asleep, the more difficult it becomes to sleep. So you want to try to change your mindset from things like, I must fall asleep or else, to, I'd love to get a good night's sleep tonight, but even if I don't, I'll be okay. I've had lots of nights where I haven't slept particularly well and was still able to function okay the next day. You see, putting less pressure on yourself to fall asleep can paradoxically lead to better sleep. So, with some of these tips in mind and thinking about the quality of your sleep, what are some of the things that you might be able to start doing to change or improve the quality and quantity of your sleep? And just like with all of the other sustainable lifestyle tips we've been talking about, you can set goals at improving your sleep using the features of goals that we've talked about and that I keep coming back to again and again. Maybe you set a goal of setting your alarm to remind yourself to stop using an electronic device at 10 p.m. You could set the goal of disabling or covering over the ambient lights and notification lights of the various electronics in your bedroom. You might set a goal of moving your work desk to a corner of the living room and out of your bedroom. These types of specific, behavioral, and realistic goals are going to be the types of goals you want to set to improve your sleep. And even though these goals and these tips aren't going to guarantee that you're going to start sleeping better right away, what they can do is to start building better sleep habits, which will ultimately lead to better sleep. So I hope that gives you some practical tips and insights into sleep and depression. Look, getting better sleep, it's a journey of trial and error to find out what works best for you. And I encourage you to be patient with yourself as you're trying out some of these things, and hopefully with practice and finding out those tools that work best for you, your sleep will improve. So that's all for today's video. As always, thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.